Welcome back to the EPS podcast where everything's a primary source. This is the penultimate episode that was recorded live at the Children's Museum of New Hampshire in Dover during the Makers Faire 2022. Stay tuned after this program. This summer's short, and you'll hear more about how you can book EPS Podcast Live. Enjoy. So I'm here at the New Hampshire Makers Fest at the New Hampshire Children's Museum, and I'm joined by
Deborah,
Paula, and Summer. Your time of the year is just around the corner. And of all the things that we have on my table, I'm so glad this one was picked up because I specifically asked my wife to bring it in because I knew it was going to catch somebody's eye. We have a Raggedy Ann doll from the 1940s. And that works. So we guesstimate that thing was made somewhere around 1947, I think, is when that one came from. And the question that I chose, that we decided on, is what materials it made from and how was this made? So the obvious answer for the first part of that is what?
What was that question?
So the material
it's made from? Well, it's made from rags.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
almost looks like a pillow, part of a pillowcase or a sheet.
And so it looks like, I mean, from the time period, we're talking 1940s. So why do you think that it's so easy to identify a pillowcase and a sheet as part of her attire?
Well, because that's pretty much that's all they had to work with.
Especially with the war. Even after the war was over, I mean, we didn't have it nearly as badly as Britain did with rationing and shortages, but they were still there. I mean, people were constantly being reminded in this country throughout World War II to save and to donate and things like that. So when it came to toys for the kids always need toys to play with, but you might not have the ability to even go buy one or what have you. So the material, rags. But how is it so easily identifiable as a Raggedy Ann?
Well, because she's raggedy.
She is raggedy, and what
hair?
Her hair is that yarn hair.
And her cape. It's her skirt.
Yeah, and she also has this nice bonnet and the hat and everything. I mean, she is unmistakable as Raggedy Ann. So it probably came from some kind of, maybe not a kit, but some guidelines, right? You know, so it's probably some kind of maybe order form that was sent out, and make your own Raggedy Ann using this design, and we assume what skill so we know it's handmade, right? So what can we assume the skill?
And what's nice about sheets too, you actually can, if you cut it, I don't know if it's against the grain or with the grain, but you can actually tear it, and it tears perfectly.
So you don't even need to be...
Yeah, so you don't...
If anything, scissors might actually make a weird zigzaggy kind of shape as you cut it through.
Yeah, and it's really easy to keep clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same washing techniques as you would anything else. I mean, so really Raggedy Ann is an ideal toy for a child because if it gets dirty and...
Right, you can wash it like regular clothes because it's made with sheets. And you can... I forgot what I was going to say now. There was something else I was going to say.
Have you ever made one yourself? Or
I have made dolls. Similar. Mm-hmm. They had but I made a boy and a girl, and they had the little bloomers.
Yeah.
I love the bloomers. That
is very cute on a doll. I mean, as far as I can tell, I'm not a big doll person, but being married to one, I've learned my ways around the dolls and everything.
And the thing is, you can use things around the house. Like you said, you don't have to use a lot of scissors, and it just takes needle and thread.
Yeah.
So you can actually do it by hand.
So there's so much more...
there's embroidery on it.
And learning by doing. So we don't know how old the person who made this doll was. I mean, it's perfectly possible that a child made their own doll. I mean, if you go all the way back to, the colonial period, you have those samplers where girls would learn how to sew and to mend and stitch by writing the alphabet out with their thread and their needle.
That was basically how
and
back then the kids they worked in the fields a lot, so a lot of the stuff that they learned was things that they needed to use in their life.
Doing things yourself, like either making a dollhouse, anything at all, a sampler. There's so much that you learn beyond just...
Well, she's a hands-on learner.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to get a lot more than just the exact thing that you're hoping to accomplish. You're going to learn, better ways of doing something. Like if the book says one thing and it doesn't work and you have a better way, then that will stay with you. And design is all that. And good communication skills. So such a great thing. And the thing that you have in your hand, I think, is exactly... probably in the 40s, product of the exact same thing that you're talking about now.
Right, yeah, that's what I liked about that era. It's very simple.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the stories.
Yeah.
They all come to life.
Mm-hmm.
And they get into mischief.
I was actually joking when I was packing that one up to bring today. I said I was going to give it messages to send to the people and have it run through the... and I was just picturing that thing running and zigzagging her way through the crowd. And, be like, oh, there goes Raggedy Ann with her message. And she has to tell the story. So, well, thank you so much for sitting down and having this conversation. It's as simple as that. That's all we do here at the EPS Podcast. And so thanks again for stopping by. When my podcast declares everything is a primary source, I mean it. Everything and anything is a potential topic for my program. And that's the message and attitude I want to bring to your library, business, museum, rec center, festival, antique mall. Anywhere there's something to talk about and people to speak with, that's the setting for the EPS Podcast Live. The EPS Podcast Live is the karaoke of podcasting. I'll bring my podcasting equipment, a collection of artifacts, my list of analytical questions, and a sign-up sheet. But instead of getting up to sing, we can talk about the record, or the movie, or the TV show, the game, anything. See what it can inform us about the time period from which it came. Impromptu, on-the-spot podcasting is engaging, educational, and entertaining. Your patrons will love the opportunity to have their ideas heard and get such a unique souvenir in the process. And if you are interested in getting started in the world of podcasting, what better way to begin? Go to www.epspodcast.club to listen to back episodes, including those recorded live, and to book the EPS Podcast Live today.